This might be like...
Hi. This might be like...
This might be like the first time that the conversation we had immediately before the cameras turned on was actually relevant.
Because I turned it that way.
Well, you had to ask a question. I mean, the preschool discussion of, like, fake and real cities for comic books and video games and stuff was a fine conversation. That's actually not too bad.
I just played through all of Arkham Knight again. I 100%ed it this time. I get all the fucking riddles.
Ooh.
Riddle me this.
I think Arkham Knight's the only one out of that series I didn't play.
Arkham Knight, did you play Origins even?
I didn't play Origins. I stopped.
That's fine. You don't have to play Origins.
Yeah.
Knight is solid, though.
Okay.
I do recommend even the DLC was really good.
But, hi, everybody. Welcome. We're children. It's Children of Wrath, the show.
We're children.
We're children.
We're children.
They shouldn't be allowing us on Twitch.
And we're wrathful.
We're wrathful. But not the W Wrath, the R Wrath. So, just to confuse you.
Also, to give an update to the public, I did not find the tiny magnet I lost last time.
Rip.
I just replaced it with another tiny magnet from the larger collection that I have of tiny magnets.
But, yes. We're playing D&D 5e. We're in the Magic the Gathering plane of Dominaria, as you can see by the map above us in the big old screen here. I mean, it's probably not obvious to everybody, but plenty of people. Anyway, and so, misadventures have been going on for quite a while. And last time we played, some research was found out, and there was the idea of seeking out a source of Thuranian technology close to the Sky Fortress that you are trying to destroy / sabotage / get rid of from the sky. So, reviewing some technology, you couldn't really figure out something, but had a couple options. And so you decided to go meet an avatar of, best described as basically the avatar of a nuclear explosion. That's effectively what it is. It's what was left over after the capital city of the Thuranian Empire detonated an experiment and a feedback from the very moon you want to go to, which you're planning on going to today. And so, lots of people died in a big explosion. There's an avatar that was created from it, and it kind of wanders around. Anyway,
and we heard our brains trying to talk to it.
It is completely alien and an imprint of a effect. It's sort of like, because it's so alien and it's an imprint of a very traumatic event, when you try to read it, your mind's only interpreted the actual imprint of that event, which is, millions of voices screaming out in death and pain, because it kind of was what it was. Yeah. So, didn't communicate with it very well, but you managed to get its help? It created a teleportation circle to the moon for you.
And now we can be whalers on the moon.
No, there's no whales up there. Why would you be a whaler?
But there aren't no whales, so we tell tall tales.
Don't put whales on the moon.
Yeah, those things will just die horribly.
Yeah, man.
They don't have necklaces of adaptation.
They're not meant for the moon.
Maybe there's a moon lake.
They can breathe. They don't need the water. They need air.
The moon you're visiting is artificial. There is no lake. They did not have a lake on their fake moon, which is an orbit.
They might have.
No.
Don't put a whale there.
Don't just stick a whale there. Jeez, you're so mean to those poor whales. I'm just gonna shake
it's a sentient whale and wants to go.
No.
Don't
because
listen
it'll
to
just
it.
collapse back to Earth along with a bowl of petunias.
Also, it doesn't know any better. Be the better friend and not let it kill itself.
I better start making up words for things.
Anyway.
Don't put a whale on the moon.
Yes. So, you've indeed gotten a couple of necklaces of adaptation, and you are ready. You want to do a first expedition to the moon.
Yes, to make sure that Cole is able to transport us back.
Okay.
So we don't lose everyone.
Yeah. Okay. well, the circle is there. It's glowing. Whoever is going just needs to enter into it. And
Ready,
allow
Cole?
it to send them off.
Don't know why I keep agreeing to these things. It's fine.
I'll step
Because
on.
you
into the
thrive on
circle.
chaos.
It's more fun when you agree to the things.
I will step on first.
Okay. Claude will disappear.
I'll step on second, I guess.
And Cole will disappear. So Claude, it's teleportation, but there's something a little disconcerting about this. Perhaps it's the distance or something, but you feel as though, like, it's almost like a couple seconds of being cognizant of traversing through nothingness. Perhaps it is, again, the sheer distance you're traveling, because you're traveling to, a moon in orbit of your planet. It's much farther than, a normal teleportation would go. It's much farther than teleporting perhaps to the other side of the planet, honestly. But you'll kind of, like, lurch out of it in an area of, like... It's not, like, complete darkness, but it is, like, this weird, like, just area. Floor's metal. There's kind of wreckage and damage everywhere. A few seconds later, of course, Cole, you will kind of lurch out. Everything feels awful here. Not awful because of, like, any normal feeling. Awful that, I'm going to give it to you, it's low, it's fairly low pressure.
Mm-hmm.
The atmosphere is probably barely, like, supportive of things being in it without, like, depressurizing. Not great atmosphere here. Fortunately, the Necklace of Adaptations allows, of course, Cole, you not need to worry about breathing, and Claude, you didn't have to worry about it. But both of you are feeling the effects of ultra-low pressure on your bodies.
Probably low gravity.
Honestly, yes, too. It feels a little like floaty is the best way to describe it.
I'm going to look around magically. Do I see anything going on?
There is a little bit, but it's so faint. Seems like whatever this light source is some kind of magic. And even then, the light source is very weak and, like, kind of flickers.
Yay for dark vision. And low light. Well, getting here works.
Alright, I'll need 10 minutes. I'll start setting up a circle.
Okay.
While you're
Oh,
doing
it's
that...
1 minute, actually.
Oh, 1 minute?
I don't know why I thought it was 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. If it's only 1 minute, then I'm
Well, it
not...
might be 10 minutes because other classes can ritual cast it, but as a sorcerer, I don't deserve that, apparently.
You can't ritual.
Yeah.
Sorcerers don't have ritual casting?
Nope.
Not naturally.
Not ritual cast, you have to take the feat.
Yep.
Huh. Alright.
Okay, well, it still takes a minute. I'll at least make a perception check while he's doing this to just see if I notice anything of interest around.
Sure. So, you'll take a very good look around and realize that you're in some form of chamber, honestly. The markings on the ground seem similar to the glowing markings you saw on the teleportation circle back on Dominaria itself. So certainly it kind of connects together that maybe this place was made to accept or send teleportation. Everything seems damaged beyond belief. There's a door out of the room. It is slightly ajar. Seems to be very metallic doors. Kind of similar to some of the ones that you saw when you were up north in the city of...
Makes sense.
There.
Nothing seems to really be powered or anything, though.
Again, the magical energy here is very, very low levels. Honestly, depending on... there could be ambient magical energies in space. You don't know that maybe it's drawing upon or something, or maybe there's still some form of power here. But, like, it is... whatever it is incredibly low and not very powerful, in any least. Everything else here just seems dead.
Okay, well, that probably takes up the time that takes him to cast, so...
Cole, I will tell you, your circle does not connect. There seems to be, like, as you're casting it, you can feel there seems to be some kind of interference from this area.
Cool. It's not working.
I'm going to point out the symbols on the ground. Can you try doing it, like, was he doing it where those were, or
Oh,
no?
yeah.
Okay, damn. I was hoping maybe that might enhance it.
What runes did I put in? I assumed the one the thing made.
I'm going to tell you, the runes it used versus the runes that you know are completely different. It used a different version of the spell.
Okay.
It was a teleportation spell, but you, as being able to cast it, can recognize that it used something that's probably a lot more powerful than the version you used. Not that yours couldn't work, but, like, you feel as though there's, like... It's not that your spell failed, I'm going to tell you. There's some kind of, honestly, feels like a distortion, like when you try to cast it. Like you, trying to teleport, you felt things twisting, at least where you're at right now.
Yeah.
Do you have Arcana?
No.
I do.
Why don't you roll it then? Because you have some knowledge of Arcana, you might be able to analyze this then.
I have a -1 Arcana.
Okay.
I'm not a wizard.
I have +6.
Mm-hmm.
25.
That's a really good roll. So, Claude, hearing about this and understanding about kind of what happened here, you're guessing wherever you are is probably deep within the core of this place. More than likely, even if there isn't, like, direct mana left over, there's a giant, like, honestly, a hole through this thing, kind of where it exploded out, and the energy may have caused distortions here. It was like... It was enough mana to kill, like, a demigod. You know, that's a lot of energy. It probably hasn't left good effects. You're probably... If you made your way maybe towards the surface, you think that it might work farther away from the distortions. Honestly.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
This
let you
another mechanical question more than anything.
Sure.
Did it feel like the spell failed and wasted the energy? AKA, I've lost a spell slot.
You can keep the spell slot.
Okay, because otherwise I just spend the sorcerer points to get it back.
I'll just be nice and say, like, mechanically, it's sort of like you just couldn't... Something was, like, interfering with the completion of the spell kind of thing. The energy's, like you couldn't... You were trying to complete it, and it just, like, didn't complete all the way. You could feel like, you know, it's like, teleport us back.
updating 99%. Estimated time 9,000 years. Oh, I guess we have to find our way.
Yeah.
Up.
To the surface.
Oh, you said I only saw one way out.
Only one way out.
I'm gonna go up to that and peer in.
Okay, as I said, it's like got like maybe a foot apart. They're kind of like sliding doors that are kind of slightly ajar. It's a hallway of some kind. When you kind of peer, you can see, like, as if the lights are sensing you, they kind of like try to turn on. Parts of the ceiling are falling away. There's severe damage here. The entire place just looks run down and destroyed.
Gotcha. Well, Cole, if we do come back up here with Kaz, we might want to see if he can bring some sort of power generator.
Alright, well, we can inform him when we get back.
Yeah. Well, I guess let's try to see if we can open this door a little further, because I don't know if you can squeeze through a foot. I can squeeze through anything.
I
but-
can. It's just a door that's like closed a foot.
Yeah, it's mostly closed.
I teleport to the other side with my racial teleport,
Okay.
or my
Okay.
class teleport rather.
And I can just squeeze through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just shadow sorcerer my way to the other side.
All right, two of you will get to the other side and begin exploring. The place is destroyed. Honestly, the amount of damage and destruction here is amazing. For a structure that seems completely, honestly, metal, mechanical in way, there is exorbitant amounts of damage. And you can assume that some of this might be from what happened to it, but some of it could be who knows how old.
Yeah.
You know, there was a massive battle for control of this thing before it was sent off into effectively space.
It could have been heavily damaged before it even got up here.
Eventually, you will be able to find a large vertical shaft that heads up and down. The doors to it seem to have been blasted open, and whatever might have been in here at one point in time, gone. It just seems like an empty hole that goes very far down and very far up, kind of circular.
Are there any handholds at all?
A little bit of ones along the wall
Okay.
could function as a basic
No.
ladder.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not concerned about it. I could just gloop up, but
Yeah.
Cole cannot gloop, and I don't have a lot of strength.
I don't think my fly spell will work here if the teleport didn't work.
Oh, that might be different, but I'm not sure.
You have no idea.
I could try it. It's a 3rd level spell slot.
All right. You certainly can cast your fly spell. It will activate, but it's going to be strange because you're going to feel basically sluggish yet also floaty.
There's a low gravity.
The low
Yeah.
gravity makes everything floaty. The dampening effect,
Sluggish could be just, because of the damage.
the damage to basically space in amongst this thing.
Okay.
Certainly something as powerful as teleportation magic, which bends space, seems to have much more interference than just I make myself fly.
Okay.
I mean, you probably should at least push yourself up using the
I
handholds then.
try to launch myself up with it.
Yeah.
Since low gravity.
And I'm just going to swoosh up the...
Because Cole, being a sailor, would be like, oh, this feels like I'm underwater. I can kind of launch myself up a bit when I'm underwater.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to squish myself up the wall.
Squish. Okay. Two of you will make it up. How far do you want to go?
Nope, probably the closer to the surface, the better, so...
Alright. Eventually, there will be something in the way of the shaft. Very high up. Approximately 300 feet up.
Okay, is there any other exits, around there or
Oh.
before that?
Certainly there have been, offshoot doors along
Okay.
the walls here and there.
Well, I guess we'll take the topmost offshoot door then that's not being blocked.
Okay. You
Sounds about
can
right.
pry it open, and you'll
I
figure it
think
out.
I actually have a crowbar.
That would help, but I'm just giving you...
I do.
Look at you. You're not crowbar.
Well, I am a rogue.
Uh-huh. Sometimes you just need a crowbar.
Exactly.
True.
Alright. Up here seems a little nicer yet not. Like, the damage seems less severe. You've certainly gone up very high in here, away from where you were. It still seems damaged, but it seems, again, very much less severe. There still just seems to be kind of debris around, and the place is just kind of a mess.
Looking magically, does it seem any stronger up here?
The magic seems to be at the same low level that you can detect.
Okay.
It's the same that seems to be generating being emitted from these lights.
Okay. I just was checking that maybe the power was dampened down there because of the damage, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Well, we can keep looking to see if we can go any higher, or you can attempt it from up here. Whatever you think is best.
Well, I can do it twice, so I guess I'll try it here, and if it fails, I have one more attempt at it for the surface.
Okay. Please roll me a percentile die.
Okay. Here's D100. There you go. It's a 6. That's probably bad.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, it could be a low.
Well, Pathfinder, it's usually high is good.
All
Actually,
right.
most of
Your
Pathfinder.
spell will go off, and the two of you can teleport.
Hey.
Whee!
You will find yourselves in the middle of a desert somewhere.
Not good.
Congrats.
Well,
You did a mishap.
It's sandy.
You said you could do one more teleport.
Yeah.
Maybe we should use that to get back to them.
Do I know the runes for that specific circle? Because I think I would know one at Talaria. Could use.
You could probably get back to Talaria, honestly. Enough knowledge to where
Well,
their
I
circle.
don't think I can get back to them specifically, but I could get back to Talaria. Give me 1 second. I will do ascending to Kaz and inform them we're gonna be ending up back at Talaria.
Why? Okay. Fine.
Hey, at least we're back on planet.
So I'll do a circle. I'll try to do a circle to Talaria.
You'll be able to get to Talaria then, honestly, from wherever you ended up.
I'll bring some sand back.
It's I found some sand.
Mark out the 7 sorcery points.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're probably going to end up resting, I think, before we try it again.
The possibility of rest exists.
Well, considering we need him to have the spell to get back.
Yeah, I mean,
You're fine where you're at. Don't worry about it. Anyway.
Well, we'll hang out in Talaria until
yeah. Hey, I'll go hang out
we're
with my
back.
daughter.
Yeah, you'll have a nice time hanging out here, catching up with some folks, spend the day.
Get some rest.
Meanwhile, back at the circle, it's still glowing, and there's a giant glowing thing here, standing next to it, menacingly.
So they're gonna be late.
Are you
They're
guys coming for us, or are you?
I don't know how we're getting back there. I'll be 100%.
Yeah,
You
I thought you were asking them to come get
Yeah,
us.
because we need a pickup.
You didn't say that. You just said you're gonna be in Talaria.
Use another thing, I guess. I still have the one more third spell slot.
You fully did not say, "Hey, we're in Talaria. Can you come pick us up?" You just said, "We're gonna be in Talaria."
They're alive. That's good. They
They're
did
alive.
not suffocate or die.
Yes. So we know it is possible to get there. I'm guessing they have to do some extra research in Talaria. They have books and stuff there. I don't know.
But they told you they were going to end up in
Yeah.
Talaria, which means that they didn't travel back to Talaria. So where did they travel to?
Maybe they just meant that they were going to Talaria from the moon.
I don't think that they can technically, talk to you from the moon. I don't know a lot about magic, but I do know typically you have to be on the same, plane. Is the moon? Moon's not really a different plane, but still.
No. Well,
Oh, you did tell them to pick us up, right?
I can make sure that they know. I'll do another sending. By the way, you guys have to come pick us up. I don't know if you figured that one out.
Okay, so we have to go pick them up.
Why?
Cole is really bad about explaining details in a sending spell.
That is true, but
learned to
we
talk
have
to his
be
wife.
back- Don't we have to be back here? Because this is the teleportation circle to the moon. Do we know our way back?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I know
well,
how to get back here.
You flew there. We flew there. We should know how to fly back.
I have the keen mind feed. I can get us back here.
Yeah, I totally get you back there.
I don't like how, like, sly you sounded when you said that.
That's just how Cat
Everyone
does.
stay
Yes,
here. just
totally
in
get
case.
back there. Muha, muhahaha.
Well, why don't you go back and I just chill out here and watch the teleportation circle in case, I don't know, things happen.
You sure you don't want to go on the trip?
I'm gonna be honest, while I do in fact fly, it's kind of terrifying in your ship.
It's because it's a ship and it's up in the air, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer to, fly with my own two wings, and that's a long journey, so...
Alright,
I thought that was Maxwell trauma from him repeatedly pushing you off of stuff to learn to fly.
There's also that! Maxwell did, in fact, throw me off the top of a tall fucking tree once.
Yeah, if I didn't know any better, I'd say they were like assassination attempts.
They might have been. Who knows?
Residual leftover evil magic from his creation.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll help you fly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get in the ship.
All right. Days
Okay.
later, you will return with them.
Days?
They're quite a distance away across a planet. You don't travel that fast in your ship.
Alright, I'll pick them up. And on the way, I'll be like, so, what happened?
Well, we got there easily.
Great.
There seems to be some magical distortion in the area that the circle goes to.
Mm-hmm.
So he was not able to cast it from there. We had to climb up a shaft to get to a higher part of the building where there was less corruption, and then we ended up in a desert.
Why did you end up in a desert?
Well, I assume the spell mishapped. Again, I don't study magic. I can just do it.
Was it the teleport spell?
Teleport circle.
Why not just
Whatever.
key it to the specific rune sequence of the teleportation circle that
I
you
did.
left from? You did. Did you take a...
There
We'll figure
could
it
be
out later.
something strange with it being from space in the distance. I don't.
My guess is that thing, more powerful than I am,
Mhm.
might be using different magic.
Also, it seems to be on very low power reserves. The lights are barely working.
Mm.
I don't know if you have anything that maybe if we find the core of the place that you'd be able to juice it up more.
At the moment, I do not. The only thing I had that is capable of doing that is currently powering the ship. So... I don't
Nope.
want to...
What
pull it
about
out.
the flower thing? Didn't that just give a boost to the ship?
That is what is powering the ship.
Well, that's what that gives us like an afterburner. Well, a speed boost effect. Couldn't that be temporarily moved?
Is that what it is? I thought that was like actually powering the ship.
You technically used it more for the speed boost, but you also kind of powers the ship. The thing is, like, normally you were using the ship as just a sailing ship in the air for a lot of times, because your power supply wasn't 100% reliable, even with the flower.
Okay. Here's my concern. Yes, I could remove the flower, and then we'd be able to use that. However, if we have another mishap and we are tossed somewhere, the ship, which we would have to call, would not be able to reach us as quickly, and then we'd be stuck somewhere for a long time.
Well, I have 2 goes in a circle. I can always get us back to Talaria.
Even still, like,
I'm just saying, I don't know if to get the information we need, we might need to power things up. That would be my concern. If we have no way to do that, then this might be all for naught.
it might be less of an issue of adding power and just repairing things.
You know better than I, but
They likely had the power source there, you know. The power source is just probably broken. We just fix it.
are these power sources infinite? Because it has been up there for a very long time. It could just be that it's been running so long it's drained.
Would I know the answer to that?
Nope,
Would Cash know the answer to that?
probably not. Honestly, like, her expertise when it comes to Thoranian stuff, she could let you know that, like, the shelf life of a Power Stone is, like, beyond her knowledge. Probably beyond yours, honestly. Most Power Stones, when they are found, yes, they function, but usually they're, like, damaged, need repair, stuff like that, which might make them function again. You know, or better function, or that damage prevents them from using up their energy. If it's not damaged and it just uses up its energy, does it run out? That's a question I think that, honestly, you don't have. That problem hasn't come up yet.
Yeah, and I have a Power Stone, but it's currently providing life to something, so I'd rather not use that.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thought I could have is, could you put raw magical energy into the system to temporarily power it?
Of course, but then it would break. And something that big breaking? Bad.
Agreed. We don't want to break the moon. This is your expertise field. I'm just throwing thoughts out.
What check would I have to make to try to make a power source? Tinker's tools?
You could probably put something together with Tinker's tools, sure.
I'll get to work on making a power source.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be. We're not trying to power the whole station. Maybe just like one of the panels or something.
You know what I'll do?
Mm-hmm.
I'll modify the lightning gun to be able to just send a stream of power rather than a stream of lightning that explodes things.
Okay. You'll turn the lightning gun into some kind of battery.
Yeah.
Alright. You have battery then.
Phenomenal.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're
it's like... Again, I just played through Arkham Knight. There's a gun that you shoot that just powers things up.
But yeah, I'm just trying to err on the side of caution so we don't have to, we get up there, find out that's what we need to do, to have to teleport down, have another mishap, have to get picked up again.
No, yes. And if there is a mishap, I don't want to have to,
So,
make the ship take even longer and be beholden to the winds of the upper atmosphere in order to get to us.
so carry. They will arrive back. The ship will come back.
I hit my mute button as soon as I started talking. That was so hilarious. Congratulations! I'm glad none of you are dead. Nothing has happened so far. Obviously it's still here.
Hey, Carrie, close your eyes and hold out your hand. I have a present for you.
No. Why did you think that would work?
Why would I hold out my hand and close my eye? Why can't you just give me the present?
Okay, hold out your hand.
Okay.
Sand!
I'm gonna eat it.
It's sand.
Gross.
Thank you, delicious meal.
Okay.
Now, what did you expect would happen?
She
'Cause
just
that's
looked at
pretty
me
well
funny.
in line with things.
She just looked at me odd. We ended up in the desert.
Well, I can tell by the quality of the sand. Has that been in your hand this entire time?
No, it's in my pouch.
Okay.
Pocket sand.
Glad to know I ate pocket sand. You know what? Not the worst meal I've ever had. I have eaten rotten rats before. That was gross.
But less gritty.
Less gritty, but you know, it felt nice on my teeth. Anyway, are we going to the moon? Did anybody find Nim and the whatever the hell we were supposed to be doing?
Yeah, we already got the necklaces.
Yeah. Okay, so are we going to the moon?
Yeah, we had to wait for the necklaces to go to the moon the first time.
Yeah, we've had the necklaces to go to the moon.
You've got a here. Have a necklace. Yeah, you've got a necklace.
Yeah.
Now you can go to the moon.
You mean I could have gone to the moon this entire time and I just forgot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we told everyone to wait so we could check out to see if we could teleport back at all, so we didn't end up losing we didn't all end up stranded on the moon if we couldn't.
But we know that you could, so why didn't I just go?
We didn't know we could. We didn't know if his spell would work.
No, I'm talking about once Kaz heard from you guys, and I could have just...
Oh yeah, no, we could have like.
Yeah. But you were also keeping an eye on the portal for us to make sure it didn't close.
Or no, moon muscles.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
you would have been just stuck on the moon by yourself and not been able to get back.
Then I could have lived on the moon. Are there creatures on the moon? Can I turn into moon creatures?
Again, no, there are no whales on the moon.
No whales!
It's an
What about snails?
It's an artificial moon, so the answer is no.
Aw.
There might be robotic life, but we didn't find any.
Well, I can't transform into a robot. Sadly.
Mm.
Anyway, let's get going. Oh, it feels a bit odd.
It's not great, no.
Okay, can you explain how
You're kind of conscious and feeling like you're in nothing for a little while.
It's a bit floaty.
Probably because of the distance. And yes, it's almost like when you're on the moon, it's almost like you're kind of buoyant, like in water.
Is it like, Tantus, is it like when I'm digging around in my bag of holding in that vacuum?
No, because the bag of holding strangely has gravity.
Okay.
Because it's a mini plane.
Yes. But it doesn't produce its own air, so it technically has an atmosphere. It's just the atmosphere it shares is with the outside world. Kind of thing.
Yeah, except when it closes, then there's...
Well, then it's you've kept what's in there, so it goes stale. As long as you're in there, kind of thing, you know. If if you're not using up the oxygen in your own bag, then it's fine, you know.
Carrie, you probably won't be able to completely fly up there. You would be able to push off of things and kind of like you're in water.
I hate water.
Well, you're gonna be feeling like you're in a lot of it.
Well, that sounds like hell.
Not being wet.
Yeah, you can't drown.
It says you.
Don't take off the necklace.
Yes, as long as you keep your necklace on, you're fine.
The necklace looks good on you anyway.
If I drown, I blame Claud.
There we go.
I blame the sand you ate.
Fair enough.
And with that, I step onto the teleportation circle.
Okay.
Why would I drown because I ate sand?
He's insane. He's insane. He doesn't say things that make sense.
He doesn't really. Moon time.
Yeah, let's go to the moon.
I guess, Cole, you're just waiting for all of them to go and going last.
Yeah, Cole will go in last. You know,
Either that or he just doesn't actually
panic
come.
a little bit.
No, he just doesn't come and leaves us stranded on the
There's-
moon. Well,
Yeah, he'll
got
go
rid of
in.
that problem.
Smudges the teleportation circle.
Nope.
There'll be like a couple seconds where Cole lags behind, but he'll come.
Mm-hmm. So you'll arrive back in the original chamber you were, though for you, Claude and Cole, something is different. The place is a little brighter. The blinking lights are a little bit more solid. They seem to be kind of almost like an ambient light that's providing not a whole lot of light, but enough low light here.
What are you talking about? There's power here.
I'm going to use my eye magic. Does it seem to be any stronger now?
A little?
That's odd. The mana here seems to be a little stronger than it was before we left.
Maybe things are waking up.
Monocle.
There really isn't a mana flow here at all. Like, there does seem to be like a wiring system to carry energy throughout the place. Honestly. And it seems to be mana-based energy. But like, there's a lot of metal and things in the way from you seeing stuff.
You think you could guide us towards where the power is coming from?
I mean, I could follow the wires, right?
Maybe?
Maybe.
Well, I know how to get to the upper levels. I know the shaft is down this way through this door.
Again, I brought a mobile power source, so we might not need to.
True. We haven't explored any of the floors really, other than the hallway to the shaft that went up.
Oh. As exciting as it is that we're on a ancient Thrannian moon base, we just need a data center, and then we can find the information we're looking for.
If you have an idea where to go...
I'm gonna look for signs.
There seem to be no signs here.
No, like, labeling on the walls or anything?
You do not... Nothing that has words on it. There are some symbols.
Do I recognize the symbols?
Not really. They seem to be associated with various chambers that are around the area. As much as, like, Claud and Cole massively explored this place, they walked down a hall by a bunch of doors until they came to an open shaft.
Yeah. We
So
were just looking for the quickest way up.
These doors seem to have, like, symbols on them that are... You can tell they aren't language. They seem to be representing different things.
I mean,
they're
Carrie,
pictograms.
if you want, I can hand you my crowbar. Because I don't know if these doors are powered in any way.
I power the doors to open them.
I don't know if there's an easy way to do that.
I made a gun.
Oh, yeah.
Why can't I crowbar? I want a crowbar.
It's not really, like, a gun per se. You have to, like, still hook it into something. You made a gun into a battery.
It's a gun battery. I shoot it.
You don't shoot it. That wouldn't work. That would
It works
still
in Batman.
Yeah,
Well, this isn't
it's
Batman.
not Batman. Batman's silly.
I
think we might have to use good old-fashioned strength.
Yeah.
Here you go, Carrie.
I'm gonna crowbar.
Okay, so you're just gonna choose a set of doors and try to open them up?
I guess as we go down the hall...
Alright,
I'm getting deja vu to the last time Claude was insistent on us opening just a bunch of doors.
Do you have a better idea? We don't know what the symbols mean. We don't know what's in any of these rooms.
Hey, you make fun of me for the dragon. I get to make fun of you for opening all those fucking doors.
I mean, the only other thing I could do is I could squeeze through each of these doors and look myself.
I'm not saying I had a better idea. I'm just making fun of you for a mistake that you made, since apparently that's just a thing that we do.
Tantus.
mhm.
I know you said we can't read the symbols, but I do have Eyes of the Runekeeper, which means I can read all writing.
Yeah, it's not directly
It's not writing,
writing.
It is not writing?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I'll tell you, the people, like, even for you, you're thinking that, like, each of the three symbols represent... It's like 3 sets of symbols that are on each of the door. They seem to each represent something.
Is there a symbol on the
There
door
does
that
seem
led
to be,
into here?
all of them seem to have one symbol in common, I will tell you.
Let's write down the symbols so that we can...
Yeah,
figure out-
I was going to say the same thing. I'm going to jot them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including the doors you have had one of those symbols on it. Do you want to start opening doors, or just going to wander the halls?
We gotta open these doors.
All right.
Gotta open the doors.
So you begin by opening a few of the doors here and there. The first couple of areas you'll move into appear to be, honestly, storage of some kind. There are a bunch of, looks like metallic crates and barrels filling a few rooms. They seem...
want to look through the crates. They might have spare power sources as well.
Well,
What else is there in the room first? Anything else?
Nothing else in the room, just
Okay.
storage.
crowbar.
Alright, you'll take the time, break into some of the storage. I'll tell you, find nothing of use for power sources. They don't have anything like that.
Okay.
One of the areas seems to have, honestly, mummified food supplies. And water that's probably been sealed away for thousands of years.
That's refreshing.
We found the pantry.
Phenomenal. We've done a great job.
Write that down, that this symbol door means pantry.
Or supplies.
Well,
I'm
it's food and water.
being stupid, I know.
Pantry.
Another one does seem to have supplies for this place here. For simple repairs. Things like extra sets of wires, panel pieces, metal pieces. A lot of stuff like that. Things that if there's a need of repair, just a basic spare part, this would be a place for it. Unfortunately, it's sort of like a lot of this spare parts seem very simple spare parts. So probably for, you would assume, Kaz, of course, because you know about this. This is probably for stuff for maintaining everything else. This isn't like the major systems. This is sort of like these doors, the lights, things like that need to be maintained. It's supplies for keeping those up and running.
I take some of it.
Okay.
You never know when you're gonna need to repair things.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got some extra light switches and stuff like that, or something.
Yeah, and the cables and panels, raw materials.
Yeah.
I'll make another gun later. Who knows?
Maybe
With a light switch.
the light switch gun. It turns the lights on and off, but we don't have light switches. Damn!
I'll invent light switches too.
I'll invent light switches. Now you
I
have
am the
them.
best artificer of
You got
our
the
age.
spare light switches. You can just use those.
The Hellkite 2 shall have light switches.
And then I'll have a gun that turns them on and off.
And a gun that... I'll invent the clapper.
Oh, God.
For the clapper. Boom, boom.
Kaz has got the clap and he's giving it to you.
You're the... You... Gutter brain.
He does have a gun.
Hey, that's from a kid's TV show.
Having the clap is
Yeah,
from a
it's-
kid's TV
It's
show.
from an Australian show called The Wiggles.
They did sing that song. I've got the clap and I'm giving it to
I've
you.
got the clap and I'm giving it to you.
And
Yes, but you were specifically talking of chlamydia.
he was. The Wiggles were not. The Wiggles were talking.
So, yeah.
Look, blame Australia, honestly.
Blame Australia for a lot of things.
Mhm.
Continuing down the hall and opening doors.
You'll find what appears to be a set of chambers for someone. More private chambers. Don't seem to be been in use. At least maybe towards the end of this thing's reign. There's no signs of anybody having been in there previously, or they cleared it out.
Okay, continuing.
Write down this symbol means empty fucking room.
You'll find, as you continue exploring and opening, there will be the following. You will find a set of barracks. Area for multiple people to survive in. What appears to be some kind of common room.
Does the barracks room and the personal room are the symbols close?
Two of the symbols are the same on both of them. The third symbol is different.
Okay, that might be multiple. I'm just I'm making notes
Yes.
on this as we go through. Just
Oh, yeah. Same.
try to cut down on, hey, if we see this, that if we see these two symbols together, or this symbol by itself, then it might be this. So we don't need to go in there.
You said they all have one symbol in common?
Yes.
It might be the floor.
Yeah. Or like the name of the base.
Well, when we get if we get to another floor, if it's a different symbol that those all share, we know it's the floor number.
Yep. Alright, keep moving down.
You'll keep moving down, continuing down this hallway. This kind of slightly curved hallway. So the hallway has kind of like a curve to it. It's not like a straight hallway. And you'll kind of walk around the curve, and you'll see the hallway ends in emptiness.
Okay, then.
This is a hole.
You can look out the hole and see there is indeed a massive hole. You will also see that you are probably on one of hundreds of floors.
This is going to take too long.
We've narrowed down some of the symbols at least, which means we can bypass ones we've already seen.
Yes, but we can't... This is a moon.
Yes, I do realize that. Maybe since we have not seen anything here, we could split up.
I don't know if that's a good
Can I
idea.
say why that's a problem, right? If we can't get back to each other, how am I getting you three out of it?
Well,
Well,
as
they
long as a collapse doesn't happen, we would be able to get back to each other.
You had to say something. You had to say something like, as long as blank doesn't happen. If we split up, we also have no way of communicating with each other over long distances, except for the one person who has the sending spell.
Wait, Mads, don't you also have
Well, I have telepathy.
just telepathy? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a certain range.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you are on basically something probably small. Think like the Death Star. You're kind of on the Death Star. Probably smaller
Yeah.
than the Death Star, definitely, but still a very large object. It's probably like equivalent of like 5 entire mountains squeezed together, because it's a small moon. It's enough that up in the sky at moon orbit length, you can still see it as a smaller secondary moon.
True, but it's still like...
It was built in atmosphere originally, but it was still very, very large. Like miles and miles across, kind of thing.
Yeah, but the Death Star on foot with 4 people would still take
Yes, very long.
like
time.
a week.
Yeah.
Kaz,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm not mistaken, but wouldn't wherever the central power supply probably have some kind of panels which might have information on the layout?
I will
Possibly.
tell you, just basic knowledge check of what happened to this thing. You're guessing that there might be still parts of the central power supply, but probably the majority of it is in the gigantic hole that blew out of this thing.
Power overload.
Basically,
I'm just
all the
trying to
energy
think
had been
of some
gathered
way
together
to-
for 10,000 years was unleashed on a dude and on the planet at one time. Didn't
I'm just
have
trying
a
to
good
think of a
result.
way to figure out how to find the information we're trying to look for.
Let's start at
Without-
the top floor and try to find the central chamber.
Well, we weren't able to get all the way to the top. There was something blocking in the shaft.
That was a shaft. This is a hole.
The hole doesn't. The hole would allow you to go all the way to the top, but you would have to use flight, basically.
I can fly.
I
I can
could
fly.
I could go into one of my forms, my shadow form, to get up.
Or you can go in the bag.
I could do that too.
Because we don't trust your shadow form after it killed all those people.
Yeah.
I released that.
Yeah, your
I
shadow.
didn't. It wasn't that I just went into shadow form. I went into the shadow form before and did not attack anyone.
It still killed all those people.
Also,
Can't
let
say
me
it
be
didn't.
useful.
I'll hop in the bag.
Thank you.
Rather than waste a spell slot, I'll just also hop in the bag and give the bag to Carrion.
All right. Certainly you could fly around the hole. So the thing is, the moon's effectively a big old sphere, but it was built in atmosphere, so it's not completely like built around a central point necessarily. It's built on like these kind of hundreds of floors, kind of built up. Certainly, that's probably, now that it's in orbit and has its own gravity, probably has weird results in certain areas. You, were fortunate that, the floors you've been on are kind of in these, like, upper echelons that probably don't interfere with gravity too much in your areas. But certainly, there's probably certain floors, gravity doesn't work the same. Like, you're, like, up here, where the gravity still kind of draws you towards this, like, the core of this area. Like over here, you might be standing on the walls, in order to move around, kind of thing.
Oh, she has flight.
Yes.
So
But you can get out
once
to
she
the
gets
surface
to
of this thing. Honestly, it's a big old metal ball. It seems as though that there is a number of these kind of strange rods. Towers that are almost built on top of it. Scanning the surface, of course, there will be ways in. Places that vessels could perhaps have landed. You can find some of those.
That would help. A hangar might have a map of where to go from there. You land, you need to catch your bearings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'd like to find, Tantus?
Sure. What?
A fire escape plan.
Honestly, they might have something like that, but where, you're not sure.
No, but this is a thing I did back when I did, like, speech tournaments at schools. If I got lost, I'd find a fire escape plan.
Mm-hmm.
Them shits are maps.
Yeah.
So, head to a hangar.
All right.
Possible able to find a map in there. If not, it's a starting point.
What gravity plane of hangar do you want?
What does that mean?
Remember I said how this was built in an atmosphere, so it's very up-down for its originally how it was built for gravity, but now it's in orbit, where its gravity is very circular.
Are you asking if we want to be walking on walls, effectively?
Yes.
Prefer a floor.
Yeah, we'd prefer a floor.
Alright, you can find one that has more actual floor. Still, feels a little weird. You're realizing that maybe it's the weirdness of, like, the some of the slight discomfort you've probably been feeling is because, honestly, you've always been kind of at slight angles. You hadn't realized it, like, when you were on that original floor. But now you can realize it. Well, now that you're just at a little bit more of an angle on this floor, you're still on the floor, but you're just...
I don't want to be on the walls, because if the panels are on the walls too, that's going to make it awkward.
You just have to, like, walk up and you like pry up what's below you. Let me work with this.
Oh, sure. We've done that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we figured out the wiring in the house. We tore up the floorboards in that one room with the demons.
There's no sign of any kind of ships or anything in here. It does seem to be a place that perhaps like things like Thopters or something would have once been held almost in hangar or could land in. But it definitely leads into another area of the ship as a whole. You're definitely much higher in the floors than you were before. Probably much higher in the floors than where Cole and Claud originally got off at.
Which means it might be even easier to teleport.
Yeah.
What is your plan?
Also,
then?
just being on the surface make it easier to teleport.
Hopefully.
I'm gonna Can I investigate to see if I can find like anything resembling a map, anything resembling like just a way to get our bearings and figure out where to go?
Panel.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
26.
So, what you'll find is there does seem to be connected to this what looks to be some kind of maybe office of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
There does seem to be a panel in here that is unpowered.
I'd like to power it.
All right. It seems as though this room was used for basically fancy port authority kind of thing. As vessels would come in, keep track of it.
Okay. Would it have like a registry of where things were headed?
It does have some basic information of like where a ship came from, where ships were headed to, what they were bringing in, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Mentions a bunch of the different Thrannian city-states and things like that. Nothing screams anything super useful information, but does give you an idea of what this place was used for, certainly.
Yeah. I'm not able to pull up a map or anything, though.
You don't see a map, but certainly you will notice that each of them seems to mark a different set of symbols where things that were, if there was a cargo, where it was being delivered to.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the least useful.
I'll give you that you get an idea of that. The first symbol is definitely the floor it was supposed to go to. You can tell that now by the information, because honestly, it will write out the information and then give like the symbols for the chamber. Effectively, it'll be sent to floor, blah blah blah, and then list the chamber basically.
So glad I learned to read Thrannian.
Mm-hmm. Quickly looking through like the symbols and what you had there, you think you do understand any of the storage rooms, the symbols for them. So you've got an idea about that at least. So you've learned storage room symbol and the different floor symbols, effectively, or at least like you're smart enough to understand the first symbol. You can break down what floor it is at least now.
That's useful.
Yeah.
You rolled pretty well in your investigation. You will see that it seems that someone important was sent to the 8th floor.
What floor are we on?
You are currently on floor
Probably
20.
1, right?
No.
20?
Yeah.
Remember, because of the gravity shifting.
Yeah, this is the gravity shift. Okay.
Do
Alright.
the floors go, like, from top is 1 and...
Yes. Top would be the
Okay,
very
so
one.
we need to go up.
Yes.
Alright.
Is there any symbols for, like, the shaft kind of thing we were in before that they might have used for transporting between levels?
No.
That might be... I was going to say, that might be the quickest way.
You could look around for one. They did seem to have, honestly, unique doors because they were a circular shaft. They had kind of curved doors.
I would suggest we do that. That's probably going to be the easiest way to get between floors as long as it's not blocked.
I was going to say the shaft are going from the outside.
If from the outside, it might be hard to figure out what floor.
They didn't number it? They didn't have fucking numbers on the outside?
Why would they have numbers on the outside? They only have entrances at certain places. These, like, hangars are the main entrances. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be any other entrances to this thing.
They would have added numbers to the outside to make it easier for us specifically.
They didn't.
Yeah, let's just go find a shaft.
Bad foresight on it.
Mm-hmm.
The shaft's going to be the easiest. Let's just do that.
Yeah, fine.
You'll certainly be able to find a shaft and be able to take it up to the 8th floor.
Whee.
A noticeable thing about this floor is that there is a lot less debris But honestly, there's signs of damage in here that's very different than the damage before. Kaz, you're able to instantly recognize it. There's places in here that have explosion damage. And I'm not talking about, like, big explosion. I'm talking about, like, small explosions.
Like there was a fight in here.
Mm-hmm.
They look old, right? They look old?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Everything in this place looks old and dead.
Yeah, I know, but if there were explosions that looked recent, that'd be bad. It means we'd have to fight, like, GIF or something.
And, you'll also notice up on this floor, the first time you've seen this at all, there is the mummified remains of a person up here.
That's a corpse.
Yes.
It's an atmosphere without water, without air. It just kind of desiccated. All its fluids kind of just left its body and, you know, just mummified. Very space mummy.
Well,
That's a
unless you
corpse.
want to root around its pockets, let's just leave it alone.
Might have something useful.
I'd like to root around in its pockets.
Sure. You'll find a weird metal rectangle.
Find a cell phone, cool.
Uh-huh. And what appears to be a set of cylinders on a ring.
Keys.
Okay.
I take the keys and I leave the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You
Strangely
want to
enough,
try to call someone?
there was also a broom nearby to this man.
Broom?
We found the janitor.
Man.
Good thing we got all his fucking keys then. Jesus. Is this specifically the janitor from Scrubs? Because if so, I'd like to hold a funeral.
Sure. He was on the Thrannian super weapon.
Rip in peace, the funniest part of that show. I saw him live once. It was fucking incredible.
Okay, so now we just need to find a room with information on.
That should be easier said than done. I mean, easier done than said. Alright,
Well.
you'll keep exploring this place.
Well, I mean, at least we're narrowed it down to a floor, possibly.
So, some of the major things on this floor is that you will see there is, of course, a number of what appear to be meeting rooms you'll come across. And a number of offices. That's the first
An
thing about this
office.
floor.
An office might be useful.
This is good.
Those are the first kind of rooms you're going to come across.
Do the offices have terminals I can access?
They do.
I would like to access some terminals to try to learn some more information about where the fuck I need to go.
You can power the terminal. It seems it wants some kind of passcode.
I push the keys at it. It's a cylinder of keys.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Hey, I don't know.
He didn't know.
I don't have a hacking skill.
I
Look
know.
under the keyboard, see if they have a sticky note.
You know what? Yeah, I look around, see if this idiot just wrote his password down somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I guess make an investigation check.
See, this
People-
fucking moron just wrote it down and left it next to the computer.
Uh-huh.
instead of-
People do that.
That's a 24.
At least this guy didn't.
Ah, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't know hacking.
No, none of us know
this
hacking.
Is true. None of you know hacking. If
And
you
I got
did-
the only one who might have. I got out of my head.
Yes, you
You know
did.
what? I'd like to try hacking it anyway.
All right. You know what? Let me see what your hacking skill would be.
I have Tinker's tools.
I don't know if that would be it.
I have Thieves' tools.
just look at this character sheet here and see what
I got fucking wood carver's tools.
All right.
Like an intelligence check, maybe? Insight?
If it's a tool, I have expertise.
I don't think it's a tool. Well, it could be, but you don't have the appropriate tool. You don't have hacker's tools, I guess.
I don't have a slicing kit.
What about an insight?
You know,
No, not insight. Why would you say that? I have a +0.
I could try.
if you
Let
want
me
to
do
try,
a fucking intelligence-based check.
if you want to try insight, you can, Claude, or we can have it be, honestly, just a straight intelligence check, I guess. Insight or intelligence. I'll give it insight. I'll give intelligence. If you want to do
I'll let you try first with your intelligence.
I'm bumping that up to a 19.
All right. And Claude, why don't you roll your insight? Let's see if you can help Kaz hack into the Matrix.
Nat 20!
What was his fucking password?
I am. You gotta remember, I am nanites.
Well, no, it's what's going on is like as you're trying to figure out what kind of password it would be or something like that. You're trying to mathematically break it down, which doesn't really help a lot. You're trying to figure stuff out. All of a sudden, Claude comes in and starts looking at. It's an office. It has personal things from this guy and begins to infer that and give you some information, which you then combine together to figure out it must be this guy's daughter's birth date. That's the code.
And that is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sure. That'll be what it is. It's
That is your code.
1, 2, 3. All right, sure, you can get into the system. All right, getting into the system, it can see that even with the low power, you can see that main systems are locked out. Apparently, access to the main database was severed by the control room. It seems this terminal has a number of things, but you can see that message would be if you try to access some heavier information. Certainly, you can get a basic information the control room is on the 8th floor. You're on the correct floor for that. Congratulations.
Hell yeah.
That's information you'll be able to find out.
Does it show the symbol for the control room?
You can find that out.
Haha!
Carrion, get your crowbar ready. We're gonna need to pry some big fucking doors open.
Also, this
Or
terminal
it
was
might be one of the keys.
was of an officer that was one of the technicians that worked in the control room. There's a very nice letter that was never sent, probably to this person's family and daughter, whose birthday was there, about their, basically piloting the moon into space in order to keep it away from, people after the explosion in Halcyon.
Great. I don't read the letter.
Mm-hmm.
I will continue on.
Yeah, let's try to find the room with the symbol that we need.
All right. Looking carefully, you will be able to find the main control room. It seems to be in a position that is this massive, almost kind of glass dome that was at the top of this structure that you'll be kind of accessing from a lower floor and kind of take some stairs up to where the main control is. It seems as though that would give them not only a view outside, but also then it seems there's a number of panels where they could project images from other directions as needed. Everything is powered down here. It seems though the main bridge crew is still at their posts.
Are they alive?
Check their
Oh, no.
pockets.
Yeah, definitely alive.
The commander in his chair, having kind of slumped over.
Was he wearing a
mummified.
toupee?
No.
Damn.
I mean,
I'm checking pockets now.
a guy's got like super mummified gum that's 10,000 years old. One's got like, I guess, the Thranian pocket change. I mean, it's like,
Oh,
I will
pocket
give you
change.
$10 Dominarian to eat that gum.
No,
That pocket change is a valuable artifact to someone.
actually,
taking the
the
pocket
pocket
change.
change would be a valuable artifact. So.
yeah, I'm taking the pocket change.
Mm-hmm.
The gum wouldn't be a a worthwhile artifact.
It might be. It's gum.
I could find some freak in the
mummified-
Solarian Academy.
it's mummified.
Only if,
gum.
only if it was still in an unsealed pack of baseball
Yeah.
cards.
Look, the only reason it's probably like not worse is it's in like very little atmosphere. You know, it's in stale atmosphere. It hasn't gone bad.
I just added Thready and changed my equipment.
Does everything in the gum? I mean, another guy's got tissues in his pocket or something. I mean, you know.
Okay, I was looking for anything useful, really.
No, they don't have
Okay.
anything useful in the pockets.
It was worth a try.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, he found keys in a phone.
I'll tell you, it wasn't a phone.
Communicator.
No,
Oh.
What was it?
you don't know. It's just some strange rectangle,
It's a rectangle.
metal
It's an
rectangle.
iPod. It's a Zune.
God. They didn't get past Zune technology.
They didn't get.
Well,
past
that was actually the real cause of the downfall is that they value the Zune over the iPod.
Zune was fantastic. Fuck anyone who says anything else.
Oh,
I never had a Zune.
It was great. I loved it.
it will take you a little bit to get into the doors here, as it seems like they were sealed off. But it turns out, when there's no power, the seal doesn't work as well. You know? So it was a little more difficult to get in here. But it seems though you can access very easily. The captain kind of had a video log, you know, describing what was going on, the battle for the ship, the explosion of Halcyon, the discharge of energy. That was accidental when the forces of Yawgmoth were trying to take it over. They managed to fend them off, but the majority of defenders were either slain or fled, and the remaining bridge crew was planning on piloting the ship into space. Seal things off and do that.
Do we want to take our break now?
Yeah, that sounds like a great point in time to take it. You know, right there with that. So if you need a snack, drink, or bathroom break, go ahead, do those. Be back in a little bit. Like this one here, and this one here, and this one here, and we're back! We're not whaling on the moon as much as Joe wants to whale.
There's no fucking whales.
There aren't any.
Well, I hope not. I don't want to see any whales doing that.
What?
Well, what?
What?
You're the one who keeps bringing up fucking. Last time it was with the robots. Now it's whales?
On the moon?
On the moon, too!
Anyway,
0G. Oh, yeah.
it's not 0G. You're on the moon. You're in a big thing. You learned about the deaths of these people in a very tragic way, trying to prevent, Yawgmoth from getting a hold of like a super weapon and sending it into space, etc., etc. There you go. They all died.
I think our next thing is looking for information on the giant floating city.
All right.
Yeah.
You'll be able to access the systems here. I'm not going to have you make any kind of checks because honestly, these systems here weren't locked down particularly. And using your effectively battery, you can provide them with a little bit of something. Looking into it, certainly this base lives up to what it was meant to be, which was a central hub of the Thranian military force. It seems as though the use of it that Urza put forth was a secondary use, saving up power. the initial uses of that, you can look into it, figure out that initially the reason why it saved power was honestly to be able to be a secondary power source on the military if something should go wrong. Especially with the uses of things like power cells and stuff like that. It was thought to be a very good source of extra energy. Both discharges were by accident. Certainly the discharge that originally happened at Halcyon was by accident. The accident was basically repeated using the legacy weapon was basically taking a bunch of artifacts and using their magical energies to become in tune with the moon, this moon here, to basically activate it a second time. Effectively, Urza made a magical computer program, almost. It was kind of genius. It was like using a much more primitive technology to access a higher technology. Basically, he cheated the system. And that's why Legacy Weapon activated, beam fired, destroyed stuff. Now, it seems as though majority of the systems here that would be in place to connect up with old Theranian technology, they're damaged. And not only that, they're out of range. So you can't get any direct influence upon the Sky Fortress at this point in time. Its range of control would have to be atmospheric for the planet. But you will be able to find some basic information out. Because of the nature of this, you'll be able to access the systems, and you think you can gain a bit of information. The things that you can gain is, you have shield, basically force frequency.
Well, that's useful.
Oh my god, that's what we've been wanting. That was like number one on our list. Is now I can just fucking destroy that shield of theirs.
The only thing about the Sky Fortress that you will find out is, there will be, like, a couple of things that will be difficult on this end. It seems as though, this particular Sky Fortress, Castilian, was one where there's a lot of experimental things. Though the general frequency is the same, the frequency rotates around this frequency. Effectively, what you think you can do is you can punch a hole in the shield, but the shield you can't break.
That's fine.
The hole
I
will,
could,
the
all I
hole
need
will
is
be,
a hole.
the hole will be temporary, basically.
Yeah. Hole's still useful.
Yes.
A hole's a hole.
And you get a little bit more information on the power systems and stuff like that, and some of the basic layout. Combined with your previous knowledge, you think you have an idea of where you'd be able to go to deactivate a number of the smaller batteries, certainly, and where the main systems would be located at.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Your assessment would have to be, regardless of disabling the energy, you would probably have to, at very least, not disable, but at least keep people away from the controls. It seems like you learned that it has a primary bridge and a number of secondary bridges. The other thing you can learn now is that as much as these power systems, they're regulated by the bridge. If you start tampering around in a way that's noticeable, they might be able to cut you off or start moving things around that would be difficult for you to cut the power systems. So either you're going to have to figure out a way to cut them stealthily, or
simultaneously,
or effectively create a distraction enough for the people that be in control.
Oh, I'm getting Dear.
That's scary.
Thank you. That's what I was going for.
I love ideas.
Yeah. At least somebody appreciates my genius.
I like it when we blow things up.
I'm intending on causing a lot of explosions. I'm intending on distributing, and I've never done this before. I'm intending on distributing the designs that I have for Force Ballistae, or at least just getting all the ones that we used back in Urborg. Getting a bunch of fucking ships together to start punching a lot of holes in them, in their shield, to distract them while we go around destroying things inside the ship.
I like destruction.
I will
It's
tell you
like
something
what we
about
do.
this.
Yeah.
You would need a lot of sky ships, because the range that would be used to disrupt would have to be close range. Water ships, honestly, would not be able to... Because again, like, it's the idea that when you throw out an energy of force, it goes out. But the idea is, what you're doing is you're tuning the magic directly at a spot. It's sort of like, it's not meant to be like a very, I can shoot it from afar and do that. It's, I'm, literally walking up to it and using like, a pull punch. It's not a sniper shot, unfortunately.
What if it could be a sniper shot?
That is not something you know how the capabilities of currently. Your Force Ballistae are not that accurate. They're based on your Artificer, upgraded version of your Artificer Ballista, effectively.
Yes.
And the ones that you manufacture are technically of primitive design in comparison to it. Because your Force one is directly based upon your Artifice knowledge and some of your own inherent magical abilities. The ones you build outside of you are relying on their own power sources and therefore harder to regulate. When you'd be direct control of it, or, like indirect use of it, it's probably better to regulate it then to what you need to. Effectively, I think the other thing is, you can pilot the energy, so to say, to do it.
Yeah.
And also, honestly, tuning magical frequencies is like outside 99% of wizards' wheelhouses. Probably there's plenty of artificers that can do it, but even then, doing it on the scale that you would need to be the distraction you were mentioning, not easy. Possible.
So what you're saying is I'm better than wizards.
Wizards have other things they do. They might be on a coast.
All I'm hearing is that I'm better. Well, I mean, yeah, Talarian Academy is on a coast.
Mm-hmm.
You are better
but-
than wizards on the coast.
All I'm hearing is that I'm better than wizards.
I mean, everybody's better than wizards.
I can come up with other plans.
Okay.
We can. No, that's a bad idea.
Let's do it.
If we need to do something stealthily,
Yeah.
you got me and you got Carrie who can go invisible.
Well, we have. Yes. But I'm not sure you have the technical expertise necessary to, like, do this.
Rude. I take instruction well.
Yes, you do.
So do I.
I can also turn into a small animal. Like a rat.
Okay. We should do another mass planning session with a lot of people, so that I can explain all the horrible bad ideas I have, so you can all shoot them down in public as you love to do.
Would never.
So that we can have all the bad ideas put out there, so that all the good ideas seem, better by comparison. Is there any other relevant information we get about the Sky Fortress Castellian?
Sure. You will be able to figure out what happened to it.
Ah, neat.
Because it was experimental, honestly, it was put into a secret dry docks at the bottom of the ocean for repair and upgrade.
So it never even had a full shakedown run.
Not with the newer upgrades. But the thing is, there might be stuff here that you... There's part of that that does seem particularly dangerous upgrades. You do not... The data you've had before and the data here don't mention what the upgrades were.
So there's things that we can't prepare for.
Possibly. Whatever was being upgraded was not related to the shields, though, it seemed, at least. The force shields.
That we do know, which is good, because
Yes.
it means that we can still fuck around with the shields,
Mhm.
which is what we really want. Okay, neat.
It seems also that, like, the orders to do this were originally by, they seem to date back to a point in time where there's a number of individuals that, I have the name of who would be behind it. Give me a second. Where are those names? Sorry. I have to look up the appropriate names from that period.
It's Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Glacian and Trifed.
Do those names mean anything to me?
Glacian, was the lead artificer of Halcyon. During the fall of the Thrannian Alliance. It was his original sickness which sparked bringing back Yawgmoth from exile.
A mistake. I'm sure we can all agree.
Mm-hmm. Eventually, Glacian did kind of turn against Yawgmoth.
Too little, too late.
Yeah. So. His exact death is unknown, but from old writings there, it's seemingly that effectively Yawgmoth was kind of like a good friend of his. Though some of the language and some rumors that existed, if you're looking into that time period, state that it seems as though the reason why, one of the reasons why he was eventually betrayed by Yawgmoth, is honestly Yawgmoth coveted his wife.
Horny bastard.
Yeah, horny mass genocide bastard.
Couldn't fucking keep it in his pants. It being genocide.
It being genocide. Yeah. The name Dryfed is not one you're recognizing it at.
Okay. That's fine.
Knowledge history?
Sure, you would have disadvantage on this one. But
Would I have disadvantage?
You would too, even on this one.
What if we assist each other?
Yeah, you help me.
Then one of you can roll a normal check.
I have a plus 11.
Yeah, you have one better than me. You can roll this. I'll help you.
Okay. So normal.
Hilarious.
21, same as
So,
you.
You
I
both
love
got
that it's
21.
disadvantage.
The name Trifid does come up in old Thranian language. It's unknown who this individual was, but it does seem as though he was involved with Yawgmoth and his rise to power.
And they were you said, chief engineers on this project?
At very least, Glacian. Well, Glacian was the master artificer of the entire empire. Basically, the master empire of Halcyon, the capital of the empire. The top technician of all of Thran was the one that signed off on this project. Though it is during the time period of Yawgmoth's rise to power. Granted, Glacian was betrayed. But it's unsure when that falling out actually occurred. And Dryfed is named in the early parts of Yawgmoth's rise to power, but his name then disappears. So technically speaking, this is older on the record for Dryfed than what was originally. You know, Dryfed appears very early on in the rise of Yawgmoth's reign and the beginning of the Thrannian Civil War with records. It disappears far before the end of it. So whatever happens to him, and the thing is, his name doesn't appear ahead of time. Like Glacian, there's a little bit of history that can be discovered about this man who was important. Dryfed is mentioned and seems to be important, but he's mysterious. He kind of appears around the time that Yawgmoth returns, and then he disappears from the records before then, at very least.
Okay.
I'll put these names so I spell them correctly. Glacian. Oh, that's Glacian and Dyfed. I keep saying Dryfed, but it's Dyfed.
Richard Dreyfuss.
If anyone really cares, Glacian's wife, Rebecca.
Rebecca!
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She is also important. She was the chief architect of Halcyon. And both of them were part of... Yeah, both of them were members of the 28 leaders. Those that basically were in charge of the Thrannian Empire.
Did a pretty shit job of it.
You know... Happens.
Could have gone better.
Well, you know.
It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I don't know. I've never been in charge of an empire before. I wouldn't know. Okay. We have information about the shields, which is useful. We have information about the power structures, which is useful. We have information about the founders, which is slightly less useful, but not useless, you know?
Useful for history.
Do we have information about weapon systems? We got some already.
It's a little bit of the same, honestly. At least it's the old dated information, you know, a lot of like, effectively, it's got the main weapon. It had, original complement, about 1,000, fighters, basically Thopter fighters. at its disposal. A few hundred banks of, banks added together up to a few hundred weapon systems, like force weapon systems. Could blast out like force energy.
Mm-hmm.
They also had a number of cannons that could produce basically blasts of lightning at range.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that seems to be the main weapon systems.
One last question, and I feel like I know the answer to this, but I think it'd be funny to ask.
Sure.
Do we have communications from the moon base to Castellian?
Unfortunately, you do not. It seems
Damn.
out of range.
That would have been funny.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely would have just opened communications just to insult them and then turned it off.
Yeah, no, you're out of range of it.
Because we're in space.
Yeah, wasn't really built to be in space to connect up with the rest of these.
Yeah. Space. Okay. Well, we have the information we needed. We came here for, right? Nothing else we want?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. I think we should head to the outer shell and try transporting from there. It probably would have the least amount of interference.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to head outside and try to transport back to Dominaria.
I think that would make the most sense.
Okay. Cool. You can put together the teleportation circle, set it off, and you'll find yourself in a familiar-looking room.
A room?
Oh, yeah.
The one we started in.
The room down on the moon?
Yep.
We're on the moon still?
Yep.
Yeah, we're on the moon.
Yep.
Yeah, we're on the moon. Okay. Cool.
Well,
Well, this is the moon.
Couldn't tell.
Well, why are we on the moon?
I don't know.
The moon wants to keep us here. It likes us. I don't know. I can't talk to the moon.
well, this isn't ideal.
No.
The only other thing I could say is we could go back to the floor that we tried it on before and hope for a better result. At least we got to the planet that way.
Can I put on the monocle and see if there's another change in the amount of energy flowing?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. More energy?
More energy.
Okay, there's more energy now after you tried teleporting, and there was more energy after you teleported the first time. I'm not sure going up to that room would make a difference. I think we would just end up back here again.
Do you think there's a way to activate the teleportation circle that's here?
Can I roll Arcana?
Sure.
Can I get a help action from
I can
someone?
assist you. I have a decent plus. So.
27.
All right. Honestly, the circle that was permanently put here, it's destroyed. And you can definitely tell that, similar to what a combination of what Cole and Claud found out before, is honestly the type of teleportation magic they used was more powerful than what you're using.
So it's intercepting it?
It seems to be intercepting it right now. Something's causing it to do that. Also, honestly, you're right. There is something weird going on. More energy is in the system than it should be.
It's siphoning the magic?
You don't have a lot of magic in you. The magic, even a 7th level spell, isn't a lot of magical energy overall. It's powerful. but it's not that powerful.
It's the only thing I could think of.
I'd like to sense and analyze Artifice.
Sure. I'll give you this much. There's something has happened and power is being introduced here. You're not sure. You got a 27.
I got a 27.
Okay.
You know what?
You drew a nice teleportation circle and
Yeah.
took it to the planet. It's siphoning magical energy from the planet. You basically opened up another connection to the planet again. Unfortunately, the majority of the power systems here are highly damaged and probably can't charge anymore. The battery systems it once had are gone, so it's just siphoning energy away, and it's causing very unstable effects too, because a lot of the systems in play already left very unstable effects. So effectively, like, the massive magical explosion, which probably damaged things around the space here, is getting influxes of energy right now. So probably distortions in reality may be occurring at a small level that might be getting worse.
This time, the reality distortions, not my fault.
No, this is true.
I can't be blamed for this one.
And the distortions probably aren't as big as, like, holes in reality. Honestly, it's probably just, like, weird ripples. Almost as if, like, rather than a hole being towards, like, the sheet of reality there is just kind of scrunched up a little bit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is it... how we get off Moon?
Honestly, if you could get
Sure.
actually out of the purview of the moon, for one thing, you could probably teleport away. Another thing is you probably should have raised the circle from before.
The one on the planet's surface.
That one also. The one on the planet's surface and the one that you made.
And the one here on the moon.
Yeah. Should probably erase those. And then figure a way, like, off of it a bit. If you can get far enough away, it should be fine.
Maybe one of the bays might have an old Thopter.
I mean, we could just push.
I do need a surface to
Put
write
the
the
circle
circle
on.
into. It is teleportation circle, not teleport. I need a surface.
But you also have to worry about eventually leaving the atmosphere of this place.
Oh, we can all breathe in a vacuum.
Yeah, but there's other things with a vacuum.
Low pressure is deadly.
That's why I'm saying maybe there's still a spare Thopter in one of the bays that we could try to use. Or some kind of ship.
There's a lot of
We
them.
had looked at... I had been looking at travel registries before from that terminal.
Yeah,
in
from that one bay, yes.
That didn't have information for other bays as well.
It was not connected.
How it's not fucking connected.
It would have been connected to the main network, but as you found out, the main network was shut down, basically, when the ship went into lockdown to toss themselves out into space.
Step number 1. Erase that circle.
Alright.
And the one we made previously.
And that other one that's up in the shaft.
Yeah.
We have accidentally created the power siphon from the natural mana sources on the planet's surface into this one, except this one cannot contain it, so it's just shooting it out. Right? That's roughly what it is?
Yeah, and the spatial distortions that Claud summarized about are just absorbing that energy, making them slightly worse.
Yeah, the distortions in reality are now absorbing that energy, and it's agitating the distortions in the reality. Not my fault. I didn't do it this time. If you blame me, I'll kill you.
Honestly,
Your fault,
between the two of you, you surmise that probably will eventually heal itself, but turns out, like, a couple of centuries is not enough to heal the damage. Again, it's not like a tear, it's a scrunch. It'll probably flatten out eventually. Just takes a lot of, time for the massive
We don't have a couple centuries to wait.
well, you've waited a couple centuries. It'd probably maybe like a few millennia for it to like fix itself.
Well, we
honestly.
definitely
Yeah.
don't have that.
Yeah, we've made the problem worse, but it's also not our problem.
Oh, it is our problem at the moment.
Well, at the moment, yes, because we're on the moon. Let's go find a Thopter. We're gonna go find a way to get off this moon.
I will tell you, if you search enough, you will find a bay with a Thopter in it.
I'd like to repair the Thopter.
That you can do. You can also do the one important thing is probably make it airtight.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
we don't know if it's space worthy.
I
It
welded.
won't be very space-worthy. It might be space-worthy long enough to get away from the planetoid.
I welded shut, and you can weld in space. You can weld in a vacuum.
Mhm.
I read about it in a book that took place on the moon.
Neat. Anyway, so you'll put together your vessel and effectively launch it away, having cleaned up your mess. So the energy should be cutting out. Float out into space for a while, and then teleport back to the planet. I'm gonna need a percentile roll from you, Cole.
Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
See where we end up this time.
Honestly, that's more of like, going from nowhere. A 4. All right,
Are we in that
I believe
desert
one of these
again?
is we can die, by the way.
Give me a moment to figure out where you're at. Okay.
I was gonna say it might be in that desert again.
No, it's not.
If we are in that one place with the Minotaurs where they don't like us because we scam them,
Zerpata?
No, we're in the middle of a volcano.
that's fine. The volcano dragon is chill with us. We
I
gave him
didn't,
a
say I didn't say what volcano.
You've appeared deep in a jungle somewhere. It's
Well, we're
hot,
back.
tropical.
Yes, but the problem is we're gonna have to rest here for you
Yes.
to get that spell back,
Correct.
so we can actually teleport to a useful place.
Yep.
Suggest hanging out in a tree tonight.
I don't need
Turn.
jungle.
Into a monkey.
All right,
Is a monkey.
you're a monkey then.
But
I'm
is she a
gonna get that
monkey's
monkey
uncle?
drunk.
But are you a monkey's uncle?
No, I am I'm just a monkey. My name is Shakespeare.
Hey, I caught that reference.
I'm gonna go climb a tree and lay in a branch
All right.
and keep an eye out for anything dangerous.
I mean, you're on Dominaria. There's a lot of dangerous things.
I'm
Honestly.
gonna
No shit. That's why I'm keeping an eye out.
I'm gonna cast fly and fly up and try to figure out where the fuck we are.
Okay. I guess history is the closest one that I'd want. Let me just check to make sure that's what I want. Guess that would be like local knowledge would be history and geography is kind of all thrown into there.
Yeah. I know where north is. I have the keen mind feat.
I guess history or nature you could roll. Nature might give you some information too.
I'm much better at history, but
Okay.
I will roll both.
Okay.
That's a nat 20.
That's pretty good. Well,
It's a 30. It's damn great.
so the thing I think is that you can combine the fact of like your nature check is pretty good still too, an 18. You identify a few species of the trees that are in here. You think you're somewhere in Jamura, on the continent.
I don't think we've ever been there.
You were in Zepera. That was a section of it. That was the northernmost part of it, where there's those guys that really hate you because you stole some stuff from them, the Minotaurs.
Ah, we're in.
Okay, no. We didn't steal anything
It's a
from them.
continent, though, so there's a lot more of it.
I wanted to make it clear. We didn't steal anything from the Minotaurs.
Oh, you
We
scammed
just
them.
scammed
That's right.
one of them.
Yep. And there's probably wanted posters up for you.
I actually paid for my goods legitimately.
Mhm.
Because I made money forming a service. They scammed. It was mostly Maxwell.
Maxwell.
Yeah, but she's no longer with us.
You're still to blame.
And I was dressed up as I looked like a Minotaur at the time.
You did look like a Minotaur. So Cole and Maxwell are probably fine because Maxwell's not here, and Cole
Claude.
looks like a Claude looks like Claude.
I
Looks like-
still had both eyes back then.
You did.
Oh,
You might be less
Yeah, 'cause
identifiable.
losing an eye.
The eye patch might make you less identifiable.
It's a mechanical eye now.
whole fucking skin color changed. Then again,
Now-
I am.
Yeah, I mean she's full demon now too.
Unfortunately, even with your 30, you're not going to get an exact coordinate because you're in the middle of nowhere. But you can get a very good... You're... I'm just going to shift ping you. You're in, like, this region of Jamora.
I'm gonna just check something real
Down
fast.
over here.
How does sorcery points work?
They can be exchanged for goods and services.
Yes.
Literally, though.
Okay, so I mean,
I have... Did I play a sorcerer before? I don't think I've actually played a sorcerer.
I've played a
well,
sorcerer.
they're bad.
What do you need to do?
I think I might just be misremembering that you can't do. Yeah, I'm just misremembering how the sorcery points work.
I did not
you-
spell that.
Yeah, I didn't because I didn't remember if you could do it in reverse or not.
Yes, you can transfer spell slots into sorcery points.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna do that, get enough points, and I'm just gonna vamp us out of here.
You expend one spell slot and gain a number of sorcery points equal to the slot's level.
Yeah, I'll just eat a fourth
Yes.
and then teleport us back to Tolaria.
Okay.
I'm still a monkey, by the way.
Wait, to Tolaria?
That's the only circle I know because the other times I've attempted the circle that was opened, it didn't fucking work. So I can attempt it again, but I don't know if it's gonna work. I can
To
try.
be fair, the reason it didn't work... Well, no, we don't know if there was...
Yeah, that's the reason. I can try. I have so many spell slots I can just convert to sorcery points.
You get to Tolaria, I'll tell you that much.
I can keep trying.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want to end up on the moon again.
You can message a ship now and tell them meet us in Toloria. They can start on their way, and then we teleport there.
Yeah, send Alatar back.
Mhm.
Send a message to Alatar telling him to come pick us up.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay. So you'll get back to Tolaria, and the ship will come back to Tolaria to pick you up. What's the plan now? Were you having your meeting? What's your plan for attack? You've gotten probably all the information you can get.
Yeah.
Let's bring all of our important people together.
Mm-hmm.
We have information about the Sky Fortress. We went to the moon. We talked to an ancient glowing man. We have information.
Did you say you went to the moon?
Yeah, the small one.
All right.
We also talked to the ancient glowing man.
That was not as shocking because I can talk to ancient glowing men just by speaking with dead, you know. Well, I can't. But...
It hurt our brain.
Evra, that was his name.
What did you find out?
We have the frequency of the shield, so we can blast a hole in it. It's a temporary hole, not the permanent one, and it won't fully break the shield.
Ever
It will
told
make
you
a
that?
hole. No, the moon did.
Then what did Ever tell you?
Oh, Evra is the combined
It
energy life forces of all of Halcyon at the moment of its destruction.
and pure energy that also expelled from it. It created a teleportation circle to allow us to get to the moon.
It gave us moon powers.
Give us more powers.
All right.
We're gonna keep advancing several fields of knowledge in our lifetime. It's just start editing the textbooks now. It'll be easier. We have the frequency. We have power structures. We have schematics. Because we got the schematics, right?
You've gotten basically, you had your generalized schematics, and you have, like, not an actual overlay, but some, like, extra information that you can fill in some of the dots.
I'll draw it out.
Mm-hmm.
I've drawn ship diagrams before, and I have a photographic memory up to 1 month. Thanks to the feat I got at level 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll sketch it out.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. This is now the first stage of the planning phase, which is everyone's favorite stage, which is Kazzrann says a bunch of bad ideas. Bad idea number 1, and this has been the same bad idea ever since the dragon. We tear a hole in reality.
No.
There we go. Vote down. We do probably need to create some sort of large distraction, so that we can either, during the distraction, break a bunch of the power sources. We can try to stealthily destroy the power sources, or we can break all the power sources at the same time. That one's really hard, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do it.
May I make a suggestion I just thought of?
We're in the bad part of planning, but this is out of order, but I'll allow it.
What about... I'm very stealthy.
Mm-hmm.
I could bring you with me in the bag,
Mm-hmm.
and we can try the stealth option, but have the distraction option ready to go if need be.
We could just do both options.
We could do that as well. I'm just trying to think, if they... Well, even to get in, we're going to have to punch a hole in the shield, which they're going to know something's up. So we might, we might need to do both options, really.
I don't think I can stealthily punch a hole big enough to pass through in their shields.
That's why I'm saying we might need to do both options anyway.
Maybe you can?
Who is this?
Cash.
Alright, Cash. Ideas. We're
Well,
skipping ahead to the good idea portion, I guess.
I've been working on something. I've been upgrading my Thopter down the shop over the past couple of weeks while you've been busy going to the moon and all.
Alright.
It would be a little detrimental to the Hellkite 2, but if I got a hold of the Lotus, I think I could power effectively creating a reverse force shield around the Sapphire Drake, as I've redubbed it.
And if it's the same frequency, it would be able to go through.
I could just pass through it then. That would keep that from being detectable. Unfortunately, depending on the weapons, it might still be able to detect the ship. I've had an idea for something that maybe you could help me with. An idea for some kind of, well, I originally thought about it because of those weapons that we were looking at. The ones that, the metal weapons that you were looking at before. But I thought about, what if they were not filled with bombs, but filled with something else, like people? I could launch you into the thing while traveling at high speeds, piercing the boundary of it, and then go out without them ever knowing you've infiltrated.
I might cry.
I mean, I think the option of surprise is the best option.
Launching at high speed.
We're gonna put you in basically missiles and launch you into the thing. You want to take that option? She's giving it to you.
I mean, that might really be the best option, because if we can do this stealthily, they're going to be caught off guard completely. If we have to do a distraction, we could have one prepared, but we don't have to. We're not tipping our hand at all then.
Honestly, at very least, if there's more of distraction just myself, I can help keep distracted. The maneuverability is, especially if I have the Lotus, would be increased a lot. I think I can reach speeds that I never thought about reaching before.
I might be persuaded to loan you the Lotus for this endeavor. Okay.
I
mean,
should we
and
send more than just the 4 of you in then?
There might be a couple others that could help. We'll have to see. Oh. Okay. Infiltration, we have a plan. We need to now figure out what happens when we are on board the ship, the Castellium. Destroying power sources, that's easy. Just, well, there's a few ways to do it. There's what I lovingly refer to as the Carrion method, which is you hit it really hard, then it breaks.
But if we want to do it stealthily...
You can hit things stealthily.
There's then the Claud method, which is hit it stealthily. Cole, there is also a Cole method where you just shoot it with a bunch of lightning until it overloads, in case you're curious.
And is yours the fire method?
Obviously.
Miss Rakarn, how many of those things do you think you could fire out or have your vessel equipped with? Probably 6 at most. And if I'm repeating the design from before, honestly, maybe squeeze 1 or 2 persons in it. So you could probably have, like, teams up to 12 people.
I can go into my... I can go into my ooze form and not even barely take up any space, and Kaz...
Yeah, ours would probably
small.
just be Carrion and Cole with Claude and I in the bag. We're very compact.
My suggestion would be, perhaps, if you have this number, even if you combine yourselves, you should break into teams. You should send certain teams to do certain things.
I think Kaz and I going for the stealthful breaks would make sense. Because I could carry him around in his bag stealthily to get to where we need, and then he can tell me what to do.
I would... My
There's-
problem is...
I'll tell you, there was an issue you still had that you're forgetting about, and that is if they notice what you're doing. Because the thing is, the stealthful approach assumes you can do it without them noticing you're messing around with the power.
Yeah.
That's beholden to a lot of different things still, you know?
Right. No, that's why I'm saying we need to have a contingent plan to start a distraction, or distract right away if need be.
So my preferred method, honestly, is not the stealth method. My preferred method is the simultaneous execution. If we are to split into multiple teams, then we can have multiple teams go to several different, what we can refer to as like the main power nodes, the larger ones effectively. And if we cascade them all, it might be enough, as long as we pick the right spots, to just cut the power completely, all at once, rather than worrying about stealthing around and having just us do it. It would be faster, it would be more efficient, they'd be less likely to notice us right away simply because we're so spread out, and it would all happen at once rather than, ticking away at it. This is my preferred method.
You would have to tell us which ones that we need to attack then.
I have like an idea of where the power nodes are, right?
You generally do.
Yeah.
Another person from the group would be like, what about their hierarchy? Whoever's in charge of the place. We're at the main control center of this thing.
We don't know where the main control center is.
You know where the one is.
We know where one is.
Yes.
We know where one main control center is, but there's likely multiple.
Do we know?
Here's the problem.
Do we know how many people they have, though?
I mean, unless they recruited more, yes.
7?
I
feel in my heart that it was 7.
Give me a second. I have them all listed. There's the Artificer.
I have written down the most random collection of pointless names.
Mm-hmm.
The Sliver.
You theoretically would only have 7 names from their group. I'm just checking the list of what I have. If you say that, like, someone else will be like, Nim gives us apologies that he could not return at this time. He's working on getting together some forces to launch that distractory attack. We were able to put together some other information, what you had. We can confirm it seems there are 3 others in their group.
So there's 10?
10.
Well,
there seems to be some form of demon working for them. A thrall. And what can best be described as an old Phyrexian abomination. Different from the angel, like an actual killing machine. One of the things they would have sent on their front lines. That one, I don't know if it has any intelligence to it, but at one incident that we've attributed to their group, we did see it.
Wait, do you mean a praetor?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Would have been like, would have been more like the, Phyrexian Obliterator? That horrible thing?
Aww.
Something like that, yeah. Like an Obliterator.
Ew.
Well...
Yeah. So worse in different ways, you know?
It's not a praetor, though.
It's not meant to be a leader, it's meant to be the killing machine on the front lines, at the front of the army, or leading in like a large group.
If we can figure out a way to help the Sliver, he agreed he would not join in the fight.
Perhaps one of your teams could then do that. Or if you use it as a bargaining chip, perhaps you can turn it against them. A team to secure that would take care of one of their forces. Certainly some of their forces don't sound like they're up to fighting snuff like the rest of them.
Yeah, I mean, he's been with them since the beginning. At least that we know of. The Artificer might be part of the key because they're probably the ones who know the most about the base.
Right. And I'm going to kill him. As is my right, as his descendant. We kill him. Also, if we kill him, then their ability to repair this thing plummets. Can we get help from the dragons?
Key2 Man from Shiv will be like, we can try to arrange to have some of the contingent of the Shivan dragons assist. Other than that, unfortunately, most dragons are honestly indifferent to it until it actually comes and enters their territory.
I know a professor here like that. He's a prick. Is he in the room? Did we get Joda?
Yeah, he's like, he kind of give you a look and be like, and I'll be like, he'll be like, I am assisting.
I know. It took a while.
It's actually a problem that requires my assistance.
Do you have any advice?
Your plan seems fairly decent at this point in time. You're right. There are some major targets. If you would perhaps have 6 different groups, you could send 4 to start taking out key power systems. You could send 1 to target either their bridge or, as you were saying, their engineer. And perhaps 1 that could also take care of having the sliver out of it. Slivers would prove themselves incredibly dangerous, and it may be that they're keeping that in the wing. The ability to summon a controlled army, as dangerous as it might be, would be a desperation move that they might be holding back on. We would have seen more forces and more, basically much more of an army, if they actually had one. Using their associate, they could summon one, but probably because they are threatening them, they hold off on that. If they feel threatened, they may open their hands, so to say. So taking care of that would be very smart, as you suggested, Claude.
Yes. I think we, having one of their numbers step back and not have to deal with them directly would be wise.
Especially one that could summon forth an army.
It's
Agreed.
like the Lich all over again. Except this time I'm a little more okay dealing with it. Okay.
Also, didn't the Lich also have an army ahead of time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very similar.
It's very
in the
similar.
book. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that to mention it. It's very similar.
Okay. Multiple groups. I think taking out the bridge would be best. If we take out the bridge, then their ability to control the station is no longer an option. If we can at the same time take out the engineer, I will be very happy. I'm going to float the one other really bad idea that I had for kicks.
Mm-hmm.
We could set off a Genesis box inside of a piece of pure artificery just to see what would happen.
Sounds like a terrible plan.
Thank you. That's all I got.
Where would you need the most pinpointed destruction?
I will identify 4 main power structures.
Right. If there's one thing the Cartham family is good at, It's causing a lot of untold destruction with spells. So me and my children could deal with that. One of them, at least.
Okay. That would be useful.
Which kid would you want to take with you, Cole?
They're both mages, but probably the daughter. Because she has more... Because they're both academy graduates.
Yeah. Alright.
But I feel she might have more experience with technology due to her work with Phyrexian shit.
So
your daughter's gonna help break things.
Yeah. The classic father-daughter bonding time of blowing things up with magic.
So, using the ability to squeeze Kaz and Claude, you could probably send in at most 14 individuals, we'll say. Who do you want to call upon right now? Where do you each want to go? So we have team 1, which is going to be a destroying team, which is be Cole and Cole's daughter. Where are the rest of you splitting up for now? Again, assuming that...
Much as I would love to destroy any power source, I should go to destroy the bridge.
So we'll call Team 2 Bridge Team, and we'll put Kaz on that. I'm thinking, Claude, you're going to be on Team Sliver, taking care of them.
Yeah, but that also involves figuring out how to, wasn't it locate the queen?
Yes. They have most likely kidnapped one. Discussing it, there could be some kind of, most likely there's probably some kind of laboratory or something they would have set up if they're using that as a base. You'd have to look for that.
Okay.
But there's probably from the schematics you have, there probably are a number of places which could be used as a laboratory, certainly, but you could narrow it down to a couple to check out.
So the queen's probably on the ship.
Honestly, if you're going to control something and you have like probably one of the last Sliver queens, that's the way. It's probably like you're guessing most likely. It's probably, especially from what Cole heard or Claude heard, it's probably juvenile queen. They've managed to get a hold of. Maybe the last one known one to Sliver kind. And that's
Dominaria.
And at least in Dominaria. Technically in all the planes.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they've had other things that can take the place of a queen be born. Because they don't necessarily need the queen to survive as they've evolved. But, with weird evolution, especially some of the other planes. But most of them have kind of been killed off, too, by horrible things that have happened in the wars versus Slivers. So, not all of them. There's a few things left over. But things have happened in their history. They don't have a great history. Anyway, Carrie, what team do you want to be on?
Whichever team they want to throw me on.
Okay.
I think Carrion could help Kaz destroy.
I was gonna suggest if Kaz is going alone, I should maybe just go with Kaz, because
We can also take another person with us, because I can just go in the back.
Yeah. Just like 2 people can probably go with Claude. And we can
Right.
build a couple of NPC teams here. I will come up with a list of NPCs and figure out who you could call upon here.
We also might be able to tap 2 former people if...
Yes, I can see if they can join.
Because if so, I think...
Actually, it would be technically possibly 3 because his his wife might come along.
Latula!
Yeah, we haven't seen Latula in a very long time.
But I was
either.
going to say, convincing the Sliver might take a very silver.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That'd be a good team to go on with you. And then I can just arrange to create a couple of like more NPCE teams of some people, and I can come up with a list of some other folks that we can call upon, because you've got
We'll
one, two,
get
three, four, five.
some old fun callbacks, like that elven dominatrix. the sandworm.
What about Slitherkel?
That's too big.
It's the Cartham King.
Still very could help, but a little too big to slip onto a ship. Just gonna say that there on that one.
We'll get a fucking Svetsebian, that member of the Society of Mishra, who's like really creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could also reach out to the shapeshifters, see if any of them want to assist.
We'll get my mom. We'll get fucking Squee.
Well, I've got at least one team I'm going to be putting on here. Don't worry about it.
Are you putting
Your
fucking
brother.
Slarvod in this shit?
Goddamn right he is.
Slarvod and a mysterious old man that's helping him out.
We were supposed to meet with that old man so long ago.
I put it off to a post-game thing.
Wait.
Cole's son could probably help because he is of equal power to his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be on
Slarvard.
the PC team.
Your brother steals your kill.
He
Good.
won't. No.
So hilarious.
If he tries, I'll slit his throat.
Okay.
I don't care that we're brothers.
I have enough names. The Cole's son. I can look through if there's anybody else that would be maybe appropriate to kind of move things around. But I theoretically have enough names right now. We'll have to confirm who we got. I might move some things, but the team six teams will be built and will be prepared for attacking the Sky Fortress Castilian. That'll be the next time. The finale will be activating. We are in the end game, folks. Your arch nemesis, which established themselves in the very first episode. You're coming to a head in the battle against them. You've gone to the moon and back in order to defeat them. You quite literally went to the moon and back in order to defeat them.
Literally went to the moon.
This is what you have done in order to defeat them. It's very nice, Moon. But yes,
We've been mooned.
that will be, of course, next week, hopefully.
At least we weren't marooned on the moon.
You try to be. But I made it simple for you to escape, so, I wasn't going to be cruel and make it like an epic thing of annoying proportions. It just was, a little bit more dangerous than you thought to just go into a dead moon.
I do have to ask, as tradition dictates.
Mm-hmm.
Do we level up?
No.
Honestly, at this point in time, it's not really going to make a difference, so nah.
Level 15 could be fun!
What level are you guys now?
14.
Are you 14?
Yeah,
Yeah.
14.
14 sounds good enough.
Ah, fuck!
For the
And
end of
that's
the game.
fair enough. 14's pretty high.
Yeah, I felt like I got something cool at 15. Yeah.
Didn't I level you recently or something?
Yeah, we did not too long ago.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I can never remember these days. I think I leveled you after Urborg.
Good.
Look, you can theoretically be like at level 15 after you finish the finale for the post-game entire thing. It's that thing of like, like at the end of the campaign, you always gain that last level. And you're like, fuck, I'm not going to use that last level. Why are you giving it to me? Just because it makes you feel happy that you got it. You earned that at the end of it, but you don't get to use it.
Level 15 would let me have 2 cannons at a time. That's what I get.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you're keeping from me.
You're welcome. I try my best. Anyway, that'll be next week. We'll see how the finale goes. I am currently planning on a session, maybe 2. But at very least, I will try to get a couple of folks in here for that. Contact them and be like, hey, want to do some crazy shit?
I still need 2 levels before I'd get my audience with death.
Yeah, you'll be close. You're almost going to be able to, like, give Death a ring. Ring. Hey, Death!
It's when I'm at 0. I can then talk to Death and ask them some yes or no questions.
How's it going? I'm back in the you know in the near afterlife. You know, touching the grave.
It's me, your boy. I died. How you doing?
I can get you down to 0 real fast, man. It's like not even a problem.
So whenever I go down to 0 hit points, I'm automatically and are here to stabilize. You can change one of your personal characteristics.
That's just such a weird ability. Anyway, let's get going. Mads, do you have anything to shout out?
Just, you know, to hear.
Fish.
Hi everybody. I'm Fish Harlan. This week you can find me single-handedly preventing the apocalyptic robot uprising.
Oh, that's good.
I'm teaching them the ukulele.
That's probably a more useful skill than murder all humans.
No.
Murder all humans with a ukulele. Got it.
Damn it.
You're all gonna become bards.
I mean, you could definitely kill someone with a ukulele. It's a blunt force problem.
You're all going to become bards. Look, this
No,
is...
they're going to be barbarians.
Look, I honestly, one of these days, I just have to run a 5th edition one-shot that's, or even just
all
like...
bards?
Or just Pathfinder. Oops, all bards. Because both of them, you can just make a team of bards and have it work.
There's a podcast about that.
I want to be.
Sure
I want to do a 3.5 barbarian so I can summon instruments to beat people with.
That was Pathfinder, thank you.
I can't.
Was that Pathfinder?
It was Pathfinder.
Okay,
It's
fine.
basically 3.5.
It was basically 3.5. But,
Yeah.
But
Well,
summon
it was
instruments...
3.75.
Summon instruments wasn't 3.5, though, so that's why you're making this.
Okay, but
Anyway.
that's just a hilarious thing to do. It's like, hey, guitar, thunk, drum, thunk.
Yep. Momo, anything to shout out?
It's called Bombarded. That's the Bard podcast.
Hi, you can catch me here Wednesday night for a pirate game, and you can also catch me for discussing tabletop most of the time.
Yeah. And Joe, anything to shout out on your end?
You can catch me here and in possibly a week or two on a Wednesday.
Yes.
I will be joining
The plan
the
is
pirate
for
campaign.
a new friend to be joining the pirate campaign. I'll have to see because they're reaching the kind of time where it would be easy to integrate, but it's going to be after Rath ends.
Yeah,
Not gonna play.
that's why I said like a couple weeks.
I can let
I
you
got to
know.
finish up that character anyway.
I mean, it's a high-level Pathfinder character. It takes a bunch to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about it a little bit. Hey, you guys need something called a rogue, which you haven't had forever.
Oh, it's just in time for Revy to get rid of her sneak attack.
Yeah, it's time for Remy to get rid of your sneak attack.
I'm not actually going to be a rogue though.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Remember, I'm a swashbuckler.
That's right, you're
The
swash.
better.
Swarsh.
It is like the better rogue. You're a writer. A rogue.
Swashbucklers.
Well, technically, I
sorcerer.
guess it's a fighter, gunslinger. Technically, whatever. It's still.
Make sure you put all your armor on your sheet, unlike the Artificer.
Well, no, I just have a magically enchanted armored kilt.
Forgot you wanted a kilt.
Well, no, because it doesn't affect my spells, and it doesn't have an armor check penalty, and at least it gave me a 1, and then I enhance it.
Yeah.
So it actually worked. It actually worked the best for me by doing that instead of going like bracers or something. I actually get, for the same price, 1 more AC.
I mean, like, definitely on that term, it does. You know, having like just you basically have magic crotch guard. It's important.
Look at the sparring.
Please don't. That's the one thing. No Scottish accent. There's no Scotland. There's no Scotland in Galarian.
Scotland? I'm from Scotland. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, actually, it's right next to the god underneath the mountain. That's actually a super advanced robot AI.
Fucking damn it.
No, I'm not Scottish. I actually kind of have a pompous name, so.
God. Yes, the robot that thinks that the AI that's trying to be a god. Oh my god.
But he's right next to generic Fantasy Kingdom number 5.
Look, Galarian is hilarious because it is like a weird Renaissance fantasy world that comes from a post-apocalyptic world where there was a futuristic society. So, you know, you could just unearth, hey, I found a machine gun! Awesome! It counts as a magic item. Even though it's just a machine gun. Or laser
Esther
pistol.
St. Clair.
I like that. Anyway, my schedule. I'll be streaming tomorrow morning. I think I know what I'm doing, as long as I remember to, like, actually, purchase and download it. We'll be doing that and discussing Tabletop Saturday. I'm definitely going to be doing some more. Next week's going to be some more Wrath of Righteous. I think what I'm going to try to do is, at very least, finish the thing I'm going to start tomorrow, which should be a couple sessions, and try to get to the end of Chapter 3 of Pathfinder before October, because, as I said, I have some plans for October, for the spooky month, and I'll have to kind of move Pathfinder around until November, so I'll probably be doing Chapter 4 on a weird schedule. So I'm going to try to at least finish Chapter 3. Even though, I'm at the place where there's super cyborgs, and, my good friend Sel, who, likes the game a lot more than me, kind of said, oh, that area kind of sucks. And I'm like, I'm halfway done it. I might as well finish it now. I've been fighting super deadly cyborgs with insane AC that were made by I don't know what the fuck. Anyway.
Yeah, it's okay, though. Sel found that area, really easy because he's fucking metagame. Min-max and shit like characters.
It sounds like he min-maxed the... He didn't min-max the most. He min-maxed a lot more than I did. The thing is, he's right. He was right about one thing. It's a CRPG first, Pathfinder second.
Pathfinder.
And the thing is, I'm not good at CRPGs. So, hey, I don't play them except for this, really. Anyway, it's not the same type as Divinity. Divinity's easy, though. Divinity's very simple and doesn't require... Because Divinity's its own system.
Yeah, Divinity's its own system.
So I feel like it doesn't require that min-maxing because you don't have that mindset of,
everything's kind of good in Divinity.
Yeah, it's balanced for Divinity. There are encounters that can murder your ass, but usually you have to, go over and do a couple encounters over there. Either, gain enough experience or money to buy something really great and then come back when you have that ability then to murder change it up, Anyway, someone left. Anyway, bye! I'm ending. Farewell!
I hate when people